So today's Trooping the Colors was a celebration for King Charles, but as you'd imagine, many eyes were right there on Princess Catherine of Wales. This was Kate Middleton's first public appearance since announcing her cancer diagnosis earlier this year. And you can see this video of the princess from today's ceremony. Catherine riding in a glass stagecoach with her children and appeared on the balcony at one point of Buckingham Palace. We know that her father-in-law, King Charles, has also been dealing with his own health issues. And I do want to talk more about today's festivities, the excitement behind it, and seeing both the king and the princess there. Josh Rahm is a royal commentator, and he does join us live to discuss it all. Thank you so much, as always, Josh, for taking the time to be here with us today.
It is absolutely great to be with you guys, be with the Live Now from Fox family once again on what is really, quite frankly, a momentous occasion. And also just to say good morning to everyone across the pond.
And I do want to start, of course, we're going to talk about the princess because that's so many eyes are on her. That is what so many people are talking about. But before we get to that, can you kind of give me some background on the significance and the importance of the Trooping the Color?
Yes, absolutely. So the Trooping the Colour ceremony as such dates back to the 17th century, where the colours of each regiment would be trooped, so to speak, on the battlefield. This is so the soldiers don't get disorientated, because the colours of each regiment would serve as almost a bit like a rallying cry, a focal point, so soldiers would know where their regiment was. So this is a ceremony that dates back to the 17th century, dating back to British Army traditions on the battlefield. The colours that were trooped today, that were on display today, were those of the Irish Guards, in which Her Royal Highness Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is the colonel of. We'll go into that in a little bit in a little bit later on, as we explain more about her role in this ceremony. But what in fact this ceremony is, it's basically celebrating the official state birthday of the sovereign of the United Kingdom as well as the Commonwealth. The reason why he has two birthdays, so to speak, or the sovereign has two birthdays, it dates back to actually King George II. I believe it was in 1748, where his birthday was in November. And then the weather was thought not to be good enough to celebrate his birthday. So then King George II tied in his birthday celebrations with the annual Trooping of the Colour ceremony. And it's kind of gone through the generations. King George V, I believe was born in December. King George the 6th was born in November. Even Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, even though her birthday was in April, it was still thought to be cold, too cold for a parade of this significance, a parade of this magnitude, this pomp, this circumstance, this ceremony. So even she had her official birthday, a second birthday in June. And then, of course, King Charles III's birthday is also in November. So therefore, this is again his official state birthday celebration, his second birthday, so to speak.
And I have to ask, of course, what are the highlights for you of this year? What stood out to you, and how did it kind of change from previous years?
Well, of course, alterations to the ceremony had to take place because on medical advice, because of King Charles's cancer diagnosis. Usually the monarch takes part in this display on horseback. What usually happens is they receive the royal salute at bang on 11 a.m. UK time, and then they will inspect each of the 6 guards on display, each of the troops. But of course, this year, King Charles, having this cancer diagnosis, currently undergoing outpatient treatment, instead of inspecting the troops on horseback, he was meant to be in a Ascot Landau carriage, an open top carriage. But Buckingham Palace took the decision this morning, due to the weather, due to the fact that the heavens opened and it was pouring with rain, that he was going to arrive at the ceremony and inspect the troops in the in the Scottish state coach instead of the open top Ascot Landau carriage. And then, as you can see on screen, he then took his seat on the dais. That was just one change this year. I mean, and that's the thing, actually, what I loved most of all was actually, of course, all eyes were on Catherine, Princess of Wales, because she announced just last night, as reported here on Live Now from Fox, she left an incredibly personal statement saying what she was going through, saying that there were days where she felt weak and tired. However, she was starting to work from home on the days in which she wasn't feeling so much. She was enjoying life. She was doing things that give her energy and positivity. And we know she has a devotion to her work, to her duty, to this country. So she announced that she was going to be taking part in the parade. I know lots of commentators were wondering whether or not we would see her just on the Buckingham Palace balcony, but there in which we saw her partaking in the parade, riding in a carriage just after His Majesty King Charles and Her Majesty Queen Camilla. We see her there arriving in her white Jenny Packham dress with her Philip Tracy hat. We then see her on the balcony at the adjacent building to Horse Guards Parade, watching from the Major General's office. Again, this building has significance as well. It used to be the offices of the Duke of Wellington. The Duke of Wellington used to occupied that building, and that building used to be the headquarters of the British Army. So we saw Princess Catherine alongside her three children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, watching from this very prominent position on the balcony of the adjacent building to Horse Guards Parade, this former headquarters of the British Army. They're in a prominent position. Of course, this is an incredibly poignant moment for Princess Catherine, being the colonel of the Irish Guards. The Irish Guards were the guards that were on parade today, and also they were the colours that were being trooped at this display alongside the Jenny Packham dress and that Philip Tracy hat. We also saw Princess Catherine wearing the brooch of the Irish Guards as well. Again, another display of not solidarity, but a display that she is there very much with them. She is very proud to be there. We know that she previously left an apology letter apologizing to the Irish Guards, saying her regrets of how she couldn't be there for the Colonel's review, the rehearsal for the trooping the colour parade. But there we saw her smiling in that carriage alongside her three children in that prominent display together with His Majesty the King. Yes, there were alterations to this parade today, but they wanted to be there. They wanted to show their unity in the face of not criticism against the monarchy, but against trying times. We know the monarchy has been in a little bit of a crisis, people have been reporting, bearing in mind His Majesty the King and the Princess of Wales both undergoing set forms of cancer treatment at the very same time. So that's the thing. We know that we know that they wanted to show this display of unity, this display of strength, saying that the monarchy is very much here to stay. They want to show their devotion to the country, to the Commonwealth. This love of duty that Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was very much known for. Again, emphasizing the continuation of the monarchy and the continuation of the traditions.
What do you think it meant to the people there, the British people, and really people worldwide, to be able to see both the king and the princess? Because we've mentioned it quite a bit, but they are both dealing with health issues right now. They've been out of the public spotlight. So what does it really mean for folks to see them both there today in this big celebration?
I would go as far to say as this is the moment that we have all been waiting for. And the thing is, to see them both together, knowing they're both undergoing cancer treatment, treatment for undisclosed cancers, that's no mean feat, especially at an occasion like this. This is a display of pomp, circumstance, ceremony. 1,000, over 1,000 soldiers, or fully operational soldiers, mind you, are on display today. 200 horses are also taking part in this, including some of the horses that were involved in that huge dramatic escape through the streets of London just a few months ago. And then also 400 musicians as well. So this is by no means feat. This is very much not just a sort of an appearance. This is very much all eyes on the royal family, very much on the world stage. This is the moment that we have all been waiting for. And we see the Princess of Wales in her absolute element, looking incredibly well, dressed up, incredibly glamorous, alongside her 3 children that she loves so much, that she's been taking the time out to also spend time doing. We know in her statement she's been saying that she's been enjoying school life during her downtime as well. The king almost sharing the center stage with Princess Catherine. I'm sure he will be absolutely delighted. You know, this is the first time that we have seen Princess Catherine publicly, so to speak, in the flesh, in person. This is the first time we've seen her at a big royal occasion since the Christmas walkabout on December the 25th outside St. Mary Magdalene's Church in Sandringham, where she was holding the hand of her daughter, Princess Charlotte. So to see her once again return to royal duties, but in this very pronounced way, in this huge way, on this huge occasion, bearing in mind even the flag on top of Buckingham Palace is no ordinary royal standard. It's the royal standard that's used on huge state occasions, such as a coronation, such as trooping the colour. It's the size of a tennis court. It is a huge enlarged flag to kind of signify the monarchy's visibility. You know, this is no ordinary occasion, and for her to return to duties, bearing in mind it was kind of anticipated originally when she revealed that she was going to be in hospital for 10 to 14 days when she was undergoing that abdominal surgery back in February. It was the palace intended her to come back to work at Easter. Of course, when she then revealed in that piece to camera announcement that she was undergoing preventative chemotherapy treatment for an undisclosed cancer, they said that she wants to return to royal duties when she feels well enough to do so, but they didn't give a date. But here she is in summer, making this huge pronounced return, also very much optimistically as well. In the statement yesterday, she said that she hopes to undertake a few occasions, a few royal engagements over the summer as well. So bearing in mind that today is just full of optimism, that today is the monarchy on display at this incredible state occasion. And we saw the monarchy on the Buckingham Palace balcony as well. We saw the King, Her Majesty the Queen. We saw Prince William, the Prince of Wales, alongside Princess Catherine, their 3 children. We saw the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh alongside their oldest child, Lady Louise Windsor as well. We saw Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, with her husband, Timothy Lawrence. We saw the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, as well as the Duke of Kent. So, you know, this is very much the royal family on display. So what an occasion it was to see Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, really return in this way alongside the members of her family, in this sign of unity, in this sign of strength to the monarchy, in this sign of devotion to duty.
I mean, I would ask you who was best dressed in your opinion, but I think I know the answer.
Well, of course, it's going to be Princess Catherine. I mean, and she looked gorgeous in that white Jenny Packham dress with that Philip Tracy hat, and then wearing the brooch of the Irish Guards as well. I mean, which she is a colonel of. I mean, it was simple, it was elegant, it was absolutely beautiful. But I will say, of course, there was ceremonial dress. Queen Camilla looked absolutely wonderful, also wearing a Philip Tracy hat in teal. Bless her, she she and her husband, His Majesty the King, were sitting on the dais when it was absolutely pouring with rain, when the Scottish state coach came back to the dais to take them back down the Mall to Buckingham Palace. I'm sure that they could not be excited enough to see it, bearing in mind the heavens were absolutely opened. But then also, I think a really lovely moment that we saw here was Prince George, once again, I'm not going to say stealing the show, but proving that he is his royal cuteness. Bless him. He was dancing along to all the guards, to all the fantastic music throughout the parade. We saw him on the balcony dancing along. And then bless him, when they made their way back to Buckingham Palace, his eyes were absolutely glued to the glass, to the windows. He loves to see the soldiers. It is so lovely to see. And actually, as well, kind of Princess Charlotte, again, a very traditional dress, very almost not quite old-fashioned, but very much in this kind of sailor suit, harking back to the 1970s. It was really, I mean, this was the royal family at their best, surrounded by pomp, surrounded by pageantry, surrounded by circumstance, fully on display, greeting the crowds on the Buckingham Palace balcony, whilst God Save the King played, when there was this huge, grand RAF flypast made up of I believe, 15 different squadrons from 8 different stations, including the glorious Red Arrows with their colours, the red, white and blue colours of the flypast. This is a real spectacle that the royal family is really best known for. And it was great to see.
All right, my last question here. I have to ask, what is the next big royal event that we should really be looking out for? Do we have any indication if the king and princess will be there?
Well, it's a very good question. We know that the Emperor and the Empress of Japan are set to visit the country very soon this summer. So it's not currently known whether Princess Catherine will partake in that. Hopefully she will. There's also, of course, Wimbledon coming up, the tennis championships, a Grand Slam. We know that there's the Royal Box. We know that Princess Catherine, it is one of her favorite occasions of the year. We know how much she loves it. We know how much she delights in watching the tennis every year, sitting in the Royal Box, and then also handing out the trophies as well. So hopefully she'll be able to attend Wimbledon. We know that she wants to do that. Then, of course, we've got Father's Day coming up in this country, as well as Prince William's birthday coming up as well. So I'm sure we're going to see more content coming out of the palace in the coming months. And then hopefully we hope to see, from the statement last night, we hope to see Princess Catherine undertaking some royal engagement, celebrating some of her most treasured causes, maybe undergoing a few smaller visits, not necessarily with large crowds, maybe with one-on-one visits, meeting people, meeting patrons, meeting representatives of some of her favorite charities, some of her most beloved and treasured causes as well. So there is definitely occasions to look forward to with the royal family coming up in the very near future.
And she looked great, and of course, King Charles did as well. Josh Rahm, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today and break it all down. Anything else you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
I mean, this is the thing. I just think this is the biggest display of unity that the monarch could have, that the royal family could give out. And that's the thing. I think something like this really is putting the conspiracy theories to bed now. We know that Princess Catherine needed the time out to undergo that preventative chemotherapy treatment for that undisclosed cancer tradition. We know that King Charles is undergoing cancer treatment, outpatient cancer treatment as well. So I think an event like this really puts to bed those deranged conspiracy theories, and this very much sends out the message once and for all: the royal family is here to stay. And what a way to send out that message of strength, that message of unity, that message of optimism.
And I can say someone will still come up with some way to find a conspiracy theory and say she was AI or something like that. That is you know, what people do out there. Josh Rom, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much as always, but also AI, come on, she appeared in front of all the cameras today. There is no way it could be AI.
Well, I'm glad you're getting the word out because, again, someone will say that at some point, probably several people. So I'm glad you're letting them know, setting the record straight. She was on several.
In front of the cameras, at Horse Guards Parade, getting in the carriages, getting out of the carriages. The royal family themselves put out several videos of this occasion. It is undisputable. And this is the thing, it's so good to see Princess Catherine looking so well, looking so glamorous, smiling in front of everybody on the world stage just when the pressure is at its most, is at its highest. Once again, she puts on an incredible display.
She definitely did. Thank you again, Josh. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you.